up 1-0 in this one, and obviously a hell of a start for them as far as looking very strong in that first game. But there was plenty of parity in Group B throughout day number 1. I remember looking at the standings after the first set of series happened. And I want to say like everyone was actually 1-1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
It was actually ridiculous seeing that on paper. So, and it still is, fairly even across the board. So, hey, if that trend continues, I suppose that's to the benefit of Tundra if you want to look at it that way. But no, we got game 2 and excited now for another fun one ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. Just trying to think, like, a lot of these builds, a lot of this itemization that might be looking to come out. I'm still think they're going to suffer from damage issues on Tundra's side. Gojira is going to play such a big part in this game. I'm not sure if it's necessarily going to be the Aghanim Scepter game that you're playing on this position for Dawnbreaker. I think it's just someone solid that you wanted to be able to win the lane, to be able to stand in front of Whisper, who's shown that he can deliver when he's playing this position 3 Snapfire. So a lot of that AoE damage that's going to come out, it's going to be on the back of Whisper's gameplay, and you're going to need it against this Naga Siren. The 1% damage that they do have on Tundra's side is 33 with the Doom. So if he can get into the Infernal Blade, if he can look to level that one up, probably... Well, he won't be leveling it up earlier than what you normally would, but it just goes to show how much 9, Saxa, and Snaking need to make space, because 33 and Skita, they're going to be splitting up the map as much as they can. They are going to be going full farm mode and just trying to be able to come back into this game at like the 25 minutes.
Is Soniqs in trouble? Yeah, we're going to see a Celestial Hammer's ready to go. He's going to go in with it. Needs a couple more auto attacks, and they get it. Whisper. I didn't think the Scatter Blast was necessary. First blood going the way of beastcoast. Soniqs, he was not ready for that. Had his bushwhack, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, he even had the Observer Ward to be able to play with, so a little surprised that he got caught out there. Actually making a long walk down here as well from Whisper. Just making sure that the lanes are set up in the way that they want. Lots of AoE damage needed to be able to pair against these mirror images from the Naga Siren. Gojira, of course, going to save that one as much as possible. Even just giving him the tip there as he blocks up the camp.
I was going to say, so this is more Beast Coast responding to Tundra trying to avoid in terms of the laning phase, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they just want AoE damage, essentially, against the Naga Siren, and CK provides 0.
Well, they also want kill potential against the Crystal Maiden, which they have plenty of with this combo.
Yeah, I think CM might need to go... I mean, of course, Mangoes is the build that you need to be going for, but I think he might have benefit from having one less set of Tangos to start with, and, well, you can't buy Raindrops that early, but he's going to need to buy the Raindrops pretty soon. Top side, a little bit of action happening up here.
Yeah, he'll be fine. He's got even a wand, already starting to add up some charges, but taking plenty of damage. Yeah, this is, I mean, all 3 lanes honestly feel like they could potentially be pretty good for Beast Coast. And I kind of go back to the Underlord being mid. And I noticed that Beast Coast was taking a little bit of time to have the players select their heroes. And something tells me, the point is, was this always going to be an Underlord mid? I don't know if I could say that. They saw the tiny pick, and I kind of wonder if they, made some adaptations as a result.
I'm sure they were just having a big stretch, You get time to be able to pick your heroes up, but, C-Smile, he's delivered in so many games so far that I feel like he's really confident on this one.
I suppose looking at it, who else would they have had mid? I mean, maybe the Snapfire.
Yeah.
It could have been a potential, but, yeah, in the end, Underlord does end up there, and yeah, really excited to see how he performs. But yeah, with this Firestorm, in a melee matchup in general, it just goes without saying, right? It is very annoying to fight into that.
Oh, yeah. It kind of goes away from C-Smile's style of playing on every hero, essentially, except for the Shadow Fiend. Like, at least he's got that in his repertoire, right? Even just nice little plays to be able to get denies on range creeps in the lane. What's happening up top here? Are they going to be able to get any kills? But, oh, maybe.
Oh, boy. Chaos Knight lands the Chaos Bolt. Soniqs using the Acorn shot, trying to go the other direction. And Marcy, which got disposed in 1 second, pops the mango, disposed back in, and nope, now he goes the other way. Okay, Soniqs doing his best to get out of here. The Chaos Bolt hits, though, and needs one more auto attack. Gets the kill. Trying to get denied, but ain't going to happen.
Nearly finds that, he lands the Acorn shot, the creeps, the Warpine Raiders have the seed shot, so he was like, come on, brother, help me out. Just a seed brother to a seed brother, but Doesn't seem like he's going to be able to be the case. They're actually making a rotation towards mid for the bottle refill. Nine, of course, having to consistently try and outshove the Underlord in terms of what he's able to do. Of course, from the tree grab, does that AoE damage, as well as constantly looking to use that avalanche toss just to secure the farm, because this is not an easy lane for a Tiny to go into with all of that % damage from the Firestorm, especially now that he's level 2. A lot of the times, what makes a Tiny really good in the lane is just being able to out right-click other heroes, and right now, Underlord is sitting on the exact same right-click damage as him.
Top lane, K1, that's a lot of damage, and it's going to be enough. 3-3 taking advantage of this chain lightning big time, and they're going to get a second kill as well, and the courier might even go down. Soniqs hunting that, but yeah, 3-3, that chain lightning doing so much damage in both of those kills to make them happen. Of course, Soniqs get in there at the right time as well, so well played by 3-3 and Soniqs.
Yeah, I mean, Gojira, when they made that initial kill happen on, was it Soniqs? Yeah, before the horn happened, or rather just after, they placed down a sentry ward inside of that small camp to prevent that sort of situation happening. But, you know, good presence of mind by Tundra, realizing how important this Doom is to be able to find a decent time in this laning stage. They let him get his farm. Oh, they're going on different targets, though, up on the top side, so not much is going to happen here. They might actually get a kill in response.
Marcy, she is. She doesn't have rebound. You're right. She already used it aggressively, using to dispose onto 3-3, but another chain lightning. It's such a low cooldown, only 4 seconds. It's able to spam it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, Tundra know that this is such a strong lane for Beast Coast, so the fact that they were able to unblock that camp and get the chain lightning creep, and then 33 even just going into the arcane boots before that greedy rush. Like, he's even got a couple of mangoes. He wants to be constantly spamming this lane out, which most of the time can sustain fairly well with the Chaos Strike, with the sidekick as well, but not so much this time around.
There's a call on the Crystal Maiden. They dove the tower pretty heavily right there. Not much more Nagasaran could do. She doesn't have her in snare yet, choosing not to level it up, of course. Not necessarily going for the fighting Nagasaran build earlier on in the game. More so wants to focus on that farm. So Crystal Maiden, unfortunately, falling next to her. But hey, we got plenty of action. No surprise, and not complaining by any means. 5-3 already, favoring Beast Coast as we're approaching 6 minutes into this game right now. 9 looking for some rune control in the mid lane. It's gonna be top though. Soniqs, he'll at least pick it up, gets a regen, and gonna find himself running into Marcy now.
Stinger got 2 bounty runes as well. The 3-minute one wasn't there at the initial time, just because of how much Tiny's needed to stay in this mid lane. And well, speaking of Tiny, he nearly fell down there to the early point in the Pit of Malice, and he's just getting consistently shoved out of this lane by C-Smile.
Now, Underlord is, actually, Doom uses the top lane. Chaos Knight, rebound's not going to save him. Maybe go for a turn kill. I don't think that's happening, though. 3-3 just feels way too tanky, right? Yeah, that's not going to be nearly enough damage. Whisper?
Another kill.
Okay. So, I was going to ask about... Yeah, it's right. Like, I go back to, again, no ensnare on Nagasaran. He ain't looking to help us CM necessarily in terms of keeping him alive, so... but Underlord, I want to talk about that for a second. I have a little bit of a lull in the action. What's the build here on this core? You mentioned with Smile, you know, maybe likes to play more of this carry centric, but what kind of is this going to be? An aura heavy Underlord, or what's the build?
I think you can go aura heavy, but they might even choose to go for something that provides them a little bit of extra lockdown, which they're lacking, or rather AoE lockdown. Nice kill on the top side by Snake King. He's tired of that bottom side, and finally he gets the tip. He's saying, you know what, you died 4 times, you got a kill. Congrats, bro. But I wouldn't mind seeing him go, you know, a little bit of that AoE, like maybe a pipe, but I kind of want to see him go into an Atos and maybe even the Gleipnir after the fact, just so that you're able to control the Nagasaran, all the Nagasarans, and honestly all of the heroes, because again, the Firestorm is going to give you a good amount of value this game.
Absolutely, interesting. So yeah, we'll see what he has in mind. Not giving us... Oh, well, there you go. There's a Rod of Atos actually queued up, so the Gleipnir is certainly possible.
It's much more of a spellcasting style of Underlord this game, and a much more, not passive style, but he wants to just stick in his lane.
Bushwhack initiation at the bottom lane, and more so top lane. It's Snake King credit for the kill there. Now Gojira not going to do much to stick around, as 4 heroes are up here for Tundra, and they are roaming around. So again, it's Tundra looking to play much more aggressive here as a team in game number 2, and it's working.
Is this trio that I was talking about, right? These are the 3 that are needing to be able to rotate, but you just see what C-Smile does while they're making that movement. He's like, alright, I'm going to shove the lane into the tower, I'm going to force the Tundra heroes back, most notably 9, to be able to just fix this lane situation, because C-Small wants to stay in the lane. He wants to be able to farm this. He's going to give it over to K1 for now, just because he seems like he's having a bit of a harder time when he goes to the side lanes, but I think they're still relatively happy with the progress of things on Beast Coast.
On top lane against Soniqs looking for that jump. Bushwhack, it's not going to connect the acorn shot, though, bouncing around. Gojira hiding in the trees.
TP's coming.
Rebound in from Marcy. Yeah, they're responding big time. The mouse, the pit hitting, and 9. Don't think he's getting away from this one. He gets a lot of return damage. Almost gets the turn kill on Gojira, but no. Tiny will fall. Now Snake King, scatter blast to the face. No chance for him to survive that. So, good response from Beast Coast. I mean, Tundra was hanging around there for a while, and eventually Beast Coast, it was a matter of time before they come in there with some firepower themselves.
See, the thing is, I don't think Tundra are that unhappy about this as well, because, yeah, you give up a couple of heroes. I think if you gave up both supports, you would be much happier, but it's still allowing Skeeter as well as 33 to be able to be on the other side of the map and be picking up this farm. That's why this rotation by C-Smile with the Invis rune might be so critical. You've got K1 instantly looking to connect in onto him. Oh, they might have potentially baited him out.
Yep. That's a great Pit of Malice placement as well. Put it basically so he had to run through the full thing in the Firestorm. And then, of course, Gojira responding it too with the Solar Guardian, more so assisting on top. That's a massive kill. I mean, yes, Nagasiren was there as well, but Doom is the top net worth in the game by quite a bit, in fact. So you love that kill.
And of course, Naga's needing to focus on that farming. You mentioned in the laning stage, Ensnare not there to be able to save Snake King, unfortunately, for those 4 deaths, and no Song of the Siren that time. Because, again, you are the one that needs to carry this game on Skeeter.
Speaking of that, is this a game where Nagasiren puts priority in maybe an Ags pickup? Because we're going to be seeing BKBs, right, on the Radiant side. So is that a thought, you think, or is he just going to focus, I need to build right click, and that's what I got to do?
I think it's a thought eventually. I think he needs to be focusing a lot more on tanking up and honestly just accelerating his farm as much as possible. So you can see he's going into the Yasha now. I think Manta is going to be the first item that he picks up just to, again, keep those lanes shoved out as much as possible. I think if Tundra are going to be able to do something to be able to fix this situation with the lanes, like taking the tier 1 tower bot, that's going to go a long way towards opening up their map. But right now, their siege creep, which is a big part of their potential to do that, is just about to die. And Gojira, he's even just going to clear out this wave, making sure that isn't a factor. This is a pos 4 diving a pos 1 on the bottom side of the map.
Well, this goes back to the point that you stressed to Naga as far as this is an all-strength lineup. I mean, yes, these are... Marcy and Dawnbreaker are very tanky supports. They're not afraid to, dive, as we're mentioning right there in that case. Because not only are they tanky, but they both even have those escape abilities.
They want this free
to get out, but... Yeah, as we're saying this, Gojira's like, okay, well now maybe a little bit of Caster's Curse there. He used his Celestial Hammer aggressively. No chance to get away at that point, and yeah, the free kill as you mentioned.
He actually had 2 raindrops at the time, so he lost a charge out of both of them. So that was a little unfortunate there, not getting full value out of it, but it's an important kill. Still though, no siege creep makes it much harder to be able to take this tier 1 tower with how early the game still is. He's going to be back up in another 5 seconds. If someone else wanted to TP down here to defend this, to keep the tower, to prevent the Naga from farming, he could very easily just look to go for the Solar Guardian to be able to help out. Instead, he's just going to put himself down here. Another quick pick off from 9 would be huge, but I don't think 9 plus Snaking are going to be able to do it alone.
Well, yeah, you'd have to be really confident and at the tower with TPs ready to go. It's a bit scary, so 9 just wants the tower kill. He'll get it. Extinguisher's coming in, though. Now they're going on Gojira, but with Marcy here, and here comes Underlord. The portal is in, and now the turn potential, including Dawnbreaker as well, crashing down. I guess you kind of just reset, if anything. They kill Tiny, and Snake King, he's also dead. So there's our first use we see of the Dark Portal, and the Fiend's Gate more so, and they go right back to the top lane with it.
Yeah. They're going to be able to get a couple of kills. They lose the tower, but if they get this tower in response, I think they're going to be fairly happy. They're actually making a rotation up here on Doom. They want to try and get a quick kill onto C-Smile.
Doom up, so good start. Cookie assisting. The shot from Hoodwink, and it's going to be enough damage to overtime. Yeah, he tried. And now Whisper needs some help to rebound, giving him a speed boost, but Extinger regretting that, perhaps. He unleashed. He goes for the quick turn on the Hoodwink. Ain't going to happen. And they end up getting a couple of kills out of that for Tundra. So consider what happened at the bottom lane, not too bad of a response, really, from Tundra.
No, not at all. I mean, Stinger basically just gave up his life just to make sure that Whisper didn't die. He realizes how important it is to have this extra layer of dive. By the way, he's nearly got the Ags again. 350 gold away, only 13 minutes into the game. So another great performance from Whisper at the top of his team's net worth. That's
insane. Yeah, he is loving this core Snapfire, seeing it in action. Coming off that hell of a game one, the deservedly so the MVP performance. And you're right, already well on his way to another Ags. Going to be seeing some great initiations to come once again. Underlord finishing the Rod of Atos, as you were talking about, as well. And Chaos Knight, he's got his armlet. So all three cores across the board for Beast Coast are all very similar when it comes to their net worth farm. It's really just that Doom. I mean, he went the earlier on Alchemist, or more so Hanamitis, and it's accelerated his farm quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. And even with 9, just with his build, he's going into the Echo Saber instead of the Blink Dagger that I thought he might consider. And what it means is that he's not necessarily going to fall off quite as much as what I was thinking. You still need to get kills, of course, and he's still last on net worth with all the cores, but now he's going into the Echo Saber, right? So you've got some consistent damage potential in team fights. What it does mean is that your team is almost entirely reliant on smokes.
There's the initiation mid lane. Crystal Maiden goes down, and Hoodwig, not much of a chance to get out as well. We see our first use right there of the Ags of Snapfire, throwing in the Marcy. Once again, going to do it, but 3-3's got a BKB now, and that is a dangerous Doom to fight against. Underlord, he's already dead. It's going to be the same thing for Marcy, doing what she can to delay the inevitable, but Skitter's in trouble over here. This would be a big kill for Beast Coast, despite how this fight played out, but Skitter, it's not going to be enough damage. She still has her Saga the Siren, but she's not going to use it. The Scatter Blast connects the Cretus Reel, and Skitter goes down. Dawnbreaker, 9's going for him at least. Celestial Hammer over the ledge, the TP play. He is out of there. Wow, the fact that they kill the Naga Siren, that's a mix of Beast Coast well played, but again, a bit of greed, I feel like, holding that song.
Yeah, he held the song. He realized that, well, maybe we've got this kill potential with the entire team coming. Instead, decides to turn around and get the ensnare going. But Whisper just on point, being able to hit him with the tip of the Scatter Blast and take out his life. 9-0-3 already on Whisper. Like, this is almost becoming respect band material coming through for Beast Coast, because they could just put it onto what feels like 4 different roles in their team. They're going for another kill up top. Oh, he lands it too.
Is it going to be enough? Yeah, probably not. I mean, 3-3s, again, that's the most difficult target right there. Meanwhile, Smile. Yeah, he goes down at the bottom. It's Snaking's low, but of course, Tiny, big part of that to make that kill happen, but it ain't done yet. Here we go with the response on the side of Beast Coast. They want to kill 9. This is that mid-Tiny after all, working towards that blink. But they have plenty of damage to make it happen, the Phantasm included, from K1, and Chaos Knight secures that one back to the top lane. Yeah, Marcy just checking things out.
They committed the freezing field for that kill onto the Underlord as well. Not going as much into the aura style. I still feel like magic damage is such a big component of what Tundra is going to be able to output, right? Because the Riptide from all the illusions, magic damage. The Scorched Earth, magic damage. The Infernal Blade, magic damage. CM, Hoodwink, almost entirely magic damage. So I do want to see, like, BKBs are a response, but I feel like you need to enable this 5-strength lineup where only one of them is ranged right now, right? The rest of the 4 want to be in there on the front lines, and Pipe's just going to give them a lot of value.
Again, throwing in the Marcy. Immediately gets stunned, though, and the Cookie's going to have to help save him. So Whisper, oh, Fiend's Gate coming in.
They know, though. They've got it warded up.
It's going to be out there for 15 more seconds. Yeah, see it, so. And that'll be the end of that. So Fiend's Gate going to be on cooldown.
How do you feel about CK going Radiance against a Naga Siren?
Oh, yeah.
Not something you super commonly see. I mean, maybe it's a bit of a meme. He's buying into the BKB first, but, you know, could happen. We've seen crazier stuff, and K1 is a bit of an innovator.
Well, it is a illusion-based anti-hero, right? It is, in theory, it makes sense, so I don't think it's necessarily the most ridiculous thing if he wants to go that direction. Because that is the end game result, right, for Tundra as far as their win condition. Just rely on the farm and Naga Siren to eventually take over and win the game. So, oh, sleep.
I feel like they can maybe turn this one around.
Underlord throwing it in the air, but here comes Dawnbreaker. There's that turnaround we're talking about. Tiny going to be pulled in as well. The Reality Rift, he is picked off. Nagasaran, the sleeps on Coldera, remember. She used it early. The Manta Style's not going to save her either, and she gets picked off. Doom, BKB, he wants to run down the Snapfire. That's a big kill.
Denied.
And he gets denied, though. Stinker's able to deny Whisper at 3-3's. Are you freaking kidding me? At least he got his hand of Midas off right before he dies, but Beast Coast, once again, looking strong in yet another fight.
All 3 cores dying on Tundra as well for absolutely nothing. You know, they made these big commitments, the Song of the Siren, the Doom as well. So we mentioned before how Beast Coast, when they feel like they've got their timings, they like to press their foot on the accelerator. And this is exactly one of those. I mean, see Smile, they're going to look to play a lot more aggressive, keep these lanes shoved out, and try and play on Tundra's side of the map now, because they know that that's where they're looking to try and farm with these 2... I don't want to say greedy, but the Nagasaran and the Doom still need... They haven't hit their critical mass, essentially. And, I mean, how often do you see a Nagasaran go into a BKB? That's how defensive Skeeter is going to be forced out here.
And this is where we're going to start to see as top... And that's a free kill onto the Hoodwink. To what else? The draft showing that I feel like we're really going to start to see the lack of just damage output from Tundra in these fights. They're going to have trouble with these BKBs now coming out. As you were mentioning, Underlord's got his just about finished. Chaos Knight already has his. Dawnbreaker is going to be going in Ags, actually, so that buffed up Solar Guardian is going to be coming up to see a shard on her. Plus the Holy Locket, yeah, this, again, and we're going to say this word a lot, but they are tanky over here on the Radiant side. So, yeah, point is, I don't know. The damage lacking. And I don't know what the answer is.
9 to actually become like a damage-dealing mid-hero more than just burst. I feel like he's got the right idea with the item build that he's got queued up with the Blink Dagger and the Aghanim Scepter after that, but it's still going to be quite some time until you get to that point, right? And I feel like Beast Coast have the answers for you in the meantime. We're just going to go into the Rosh.
One of those answers. Exactly.
No big ultimates. Why not?
They're not the craziest, quickest killing Roshan team necessarily, but yeah, it's hey, if Tundra wants to take a fight, they'll take one. So
they know what's happening.
They're gonna slowly but surely do it.
Yeah, they've got heroes split out completely around the map. Bottom lane's pushed in. They've actually found out Gojira here, who's trying to be a little bit cheeky with... Oh, actually, does he live?
No way.
No.
Well, he finally died, but Nagasaran gonna have to pop a sleep to make sure to get out of here. No way. Okay. No, they're getting out.
They were tempted.
They're going back. That would have been fun to see, but no. It's Nagasaran sleep on cool for another 140 plus seconds. But going back to the Tiny, I mean, yeah, he's got the Echo Saber, the Blink queued up, sitting on 2,300 gold though, so he's not necessarily buying the Blink just yet. Trying to maybe see if he could just go for that full Ags first, I suppose, of the Tree Volley.
Yeah, I mean, you still do need a little bit of AoE damage yourself just to be able to deal with all these CK illusions quickly, right? The damage falls off a little bit if you're able to do that, but, I mean, you've still got a Snapfire who's playing amazingly. Like, he's still got that streak, right? He got denied previously, so 10-0, let's call it. And, yeah, certainly Whisper is probably the key target that you need to be trying to pick off at the start of a lot of these fights, because you are still relatively squishy. No BKB.
Speaking of squishy, Nagasaran's trying to prevent that from being the case. In his case, he's got now the Reaver, so working on a full Heart of Tarask.
Yep.
That to go with the Manta style.
Just try and tank up as much as possible. So the Manta style pushes out waves. The Heart is going to allow you to tank up. But again, you're against an Underlord, so you can have all the HP in the world. Percent damage is still percent damage, so Firestorm's going to be really effective for that.
Looking at this Doom. And he's got his own BKB in the Blink, of course. Level 15 starting to come out, speaking of Doom, as well as Chaos Knight on the other side. It's Chaos Knight again, 3 minutes remaining on that Aegis, and he's going to be part of the smoke. Both Whisper and Stinger wrapping around the mid lane, and might find Tiny. That's a big kill. Oh my gosh, that was great reaction.
Oh, do they get the spit? No, never mind. They just said, go and farm K1.
Get there faster. Yeah, nothing to farm though. As Nagasaran's already cleared it out.
Look at how confident he feels with that Aegis, with the BKB, the Mage Slayer, 2.5k HP as well. very, very good on this top side. And, I mean, Tundra, they're never in a position right now to be able to go for kills. Like, while they're fighting into this Aegis, they really don't want to go for pickoffs unless someone on Beast Coast overextends in a massive way. Soniqs, he's a big portion of their damage output, right? 2 points in the Sharpshooter now. He's got the Aghanim Shard for the Hunter's Boomerang to amp up the rest of the team's damage, and the Veil on top of that. So if they could find someone without a BKB once this Aegis expires, that's going to be the next key thing for Tundra.
All right, yeah. Increase that. So speaking of the lack of damage, that's another way to somewhat address that here, and Tundra very aware of that themselves. Wow, that's an Octarine core on Doom. Okay, so 3-3 saving up that monies. Yeah.
A little bit of damage into the tower. Just, again, opening up the map a little bit more for the Naga Siren to be able to farm. It's not much. You're never really going to be inside of the enemy ancient camps looking to farm, but it does allow you to farm perhaps a couple of extra camps on the top side of the map without instant reactions coming from the team.
Sharpshooter, speaking of reactions, there's the reactions, but the burst is real. Here's the Fiend's Gate, though, and now can they catch up to 9? He can, but do they have a stopper? Yes, they do. So Tiny, he's dead, and Chaos Knight's like, I'll take the kill, guys, don't worry.
Oh, they're going to go in. They're going to get right back in there, trying to push into the mid tower. Why not? I mean, he is still a big part of your front line on the Tiny.
Kobe! Throw it in the Underlord, catches up to Snake King. That's what they were reporting back for. They wanted that Crystal Maiden. And they get the Crystal Maiden. Now that mid push, as you're referring to as well, going to be happening. So the heart is finally finished on Naga Siren. We see that pop up as the fight just ends right there. But Naga Siren losing teammates around her. Quietly doing her thing, though.
Yeah, even has the regen on Underlord as well, so he's able to just stand here. I said he wasn't really a right-clicker, but with all those team fights going so well, he's got that bonus 162 damage, so these towers actually take a big hitting from all of these beefy heroes.
Do they keep pushing? 30 seconds on the Aegis, so probably not. Yeah, they're going to fall back with that.
You got to fix the lanes. Naga's still done a pretty good job of pushing out the bottom side. Maybe now she can, with the heart, afford to play a little bit more aggressively. But again, when you don't have any tier 2s, how's the rest of the team meant to get to you? So it's a rough situation to be in for Tundra. I know it's pretty damn even on the net worth charts. Basically, 0 net worth difference right now. But to me, it still feels like Beast Coast are really in the driver's seat.
Yeah, it's definitely agree with you there. It's one of those games where, yeah, exactly, the net worth says even, but the feeling's certainly going one way over the other. But this could definitely change things. Then the Whisper, remember, he technically hasn't died yet. He got denied for the one death. He's trying to get away. He is dead, though, and there's no deny this time. 3-3 says, thank you very much. They also kill the Dawnbreaker, and the chase continues. Why would they stop? Stinger, toss back into the freeze. Here's that crowd control coming into play, and they may not, have... Well, they have a lot of damage, I suppose. That's what they're showing right here, as tanky as they may be. 3-3, he's going to have to pop his BKB, though. But Tiny jumps in onto K1, and K1, now he's in trouble. He finally gets his BKB off, but it was very late right here. He has a heart, so he is beefy as well. Tiny trying to kite. 9 gets a big hit off right there, and Stinger will finish the job over here. Skidder still has the song. It's going to have to be used here. To try to reset now. Do they reset or do they run? Looks like they're going for a reset. Skidder wants to make a play. All the illusions. 3-3. Of course, no Doom, but he's got Infernal Blade. He brings some damage in. The Reality Rift pulling, though, and Nagas aren't able to shred through Stinger, and now it's just Chaos Knight right here in this fight. Whisper spits him out. Back to base. Let's get out of here, buddy. I caught you. Whisper's going to die, but he saves his teammate. Where are the tips?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe if he got away as well, they were just saving it for that sort of situation. But man, talk about caster curse, huh? Saying that it felt like Beast Coast had that control over the game, but they did find the initiation that I was talking about, right? They found the Snapfire to be able to start the team fight, and then suddenly the damage isn't quite there to be able to deal with the Naga Siren. They still are lacking in that AoE damage when Snapfire isn't as much of a presence in a lot of these engagements. So to be able to fight around that with the invis, with the smoke coming through, and all it takes is one team fight, and now Tundra, they're looking to use all of that extra net worth that they gained to feel a lot stronger this game.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be looking at this Ron the whole time, sitting here saying that, wondering if Tundra is going to have enough damage. I suppose now it's, does Beast Coast have enough damage? As we certainly saw in that last fight, to the point you're making of especially this Naga Siren. She has really peaked on her farm now. In fact, she also gets a butterfly. So, of course, that mix coming into play of nice damage assistance, but also even that evasion, etc., kicking in. So yeah, this Naga Siren clearly going to be an issue now for beastcoast. And
this is what they've been waiting for, right? Like we were talking about the Doom plus the Naga Siren. They are going to be farming. They're going to be sitting back. They're going to be passive. It's going to rely heavily on 9 to be able to sacrifice his own game. And, I mean, he's done that. He's sacrificed his own game. He's sitting last on the core net worth, but it doesn't matter as long as you find that initial jump to kill the tempo setters on Beast Coast. And last time around, he found the Snapfire. I mean, Snapfire has just died, what, 3 times in a row now? One was the deny, but the other 2, one was to give over that big kill streak, and the other was the one to be able to give the kill back.
Yeah, there's one after the other right there, but smoke play. Beast Coast, they want to get the jump first themselves, and certainly a better shot if they do. They toss in the Underlord. Doesn't find anybody initially, though, and Hoodwink is going to be able to TP out before a catch happens. So certainly that's going to play a big role. If Snapfire can get it good, gobble up, and spit out, then perhaps that's going to be what Beast Coast needs to win these engagements. I will say Dawnbreaker also gets the Solar Guardian upgrade thanks to that Axe pickup. So yeah, talk about making priority on that to go with the Holy Locket. As
even just
position 4.
The talent as well. So he's got an extra 20 seconds less on the cooldown for it.
Oh, yeah.
So that's nice to be able to respond to it. And now it's just all about beefing up a little bit. I still really do feel like the AC is going to help somewhat. You need some kind of magic resistance coming through here because the burst potential, we saw what it's capable of. Maybe even a Wraith Pact, honestly, on some of these heroes. But who's the one that's going to buy it? That's my issue.
The AC?
The Wraith Pact or the Pipe. I mean, you're going into a Lotus Orb on Gajira, but I'm not sure if that's the item or not. I mean, it gets you out of the Bushwhack, it gets you out of the Freeze, it gets you out of the Ensnare. So actually, maybe it is pretty damn good, this game.
Yeah. I was going to say, so yeah. We mentioned Underlord has the AC coming, so in fact, it's going to be delivered now to him, so at least they have that. But maybe the Radiance, man, it goes back to that for K1. It's seems like, potentially still a pretty good tool that could go for it. That's why he's keeping it on that queue up as an option.
You just see how much more confident they are of being able to shove out lanes, right? They've taken control over the Radiant jungle on Tundra, and even just the illusions are able to push out these lanes much more effectively. It's a deceptive impact spike coming through from a Naga Siren, right? You think, oh, it's only one team fight, but one extra item actually means so much more because of how much she plays around those illusions. It means you fall behind in experience a lot because you're not there in the center of things and getting a lot of that experience, but the illusions just do so much in terms of how the map can be controlled in your favor.
Can we sit back and appreciate how, even with Naga Siren, especially after the last fight, and really just accelerating her farm,
forced above the BKB. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, getting close. Yeah, no, that was a close call for him, but BKB and run. But I was going to say how Doom is just still top net worth by quite a bit, over 2,000 even more than the Naga Siren still. So 3-3, definitely deserving credit there. I know he has a hand of Midas, but still, very, very efficient farm for him. And now he has a full refresher orb picked up.
And the Octarine, right? So even that's not going to be as big of a deal. I wonder what item he gets rid of first. Like, is he going to go maybe Overwhelming Blink as his next item?
Yeah, that seems pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
Scythe is always solid as well.
It is, but the question is, what item do you drop? Like the refresher of you can't backpack it anymore. It's you need the cooldown to be constantly refreshing, and it doesn't do that from the backpack anymore with the most recent patch. Even just playing so heavily around 3-3 with the Infernal Blade, he's gone into the Aghanim Shard for it, realizing how important that's going to be against these tanky heroes, right? 5 strength, Infernal Blade, it's what you gotta have.
They're just going in. They get the Doom up off that bow. They find the pick chance on Underlord, but here comes Dawnbreaker. Trying to keep him alive. It's not going to happen. Eventually goes down. And back here, Snapfire doomed up. He's going to die to that. If anything, the illusions to chase him down. So the initiation was great for Tundra. Crystal Maiden's getting low, but that doesn't really matter. Chaos Knight's dead as well. The buyback for Whisper, but the 3 others, they're staying dead for the time being. And Tundra is starting to claim absolute control here in game number 2. In fact, going back to Roshan to secure the easy one now.
And big props have to be given over to 9 and 33. Like, they are just finding the right jumps every single time. On these heroes that either aren't able to pop their BKB and they get chain stunned, or don't have the BKB at all at this stage. So I know he wants to get into the Octarine core on Whisper, but it really does feel like he needs to go into something like the Lincolns or the BKB for himself, just so that he survives that initial burst.
Yeah, that net worth lead is starting to get pretty massive, and usually be like, oh, well, it's just an Agastar, you know, at least everyone else is not doing the best, but no, I keep going back to this Doom. Just even continues to out-farm his Nagasaran teammate. And already another 2,800 gold saved up, so it goes back, yeah, what is he going to buy next? But the overwhelming blink, yeah, that seems pretty good if he wants to go there. But Nagasaran picks up the Aegis.
Nine's a legit damage dealer as well now, right? He's got the Aghanim Scepter,
sure.
He's got a Daedalus, he's a Tiny, just in general, so
yeah.
a lot of that damage can come in pretty fast.
Chaos Knight?
Actually find out K1.
Yeah, he TP'd right into the stuns there, unfortunately. Again, Dawnbreaker. Solar Guardian in, Chaos Knight. Trying to assist some damage here. Then one of his kisses from afar, but Skitter, he's trying to figure out, do we reset this? Do we run? What are we doing here?
Tree volley.
Oh, they want to go for the Underlord. BKB immediately comes out, though, Seeker in the backlines. He pulls in the Hoodwink with the Sharpshooter, though, back there. Not going to get a kill, but doing some damage. Smile still holding his ground. They kill the Crystal Maiden. She buys back in the missile. The Doom up on Chaos Knight, and he can't really stand his ground the greatest against that. He is just dead. The Tree volley and trying to get out with the portal, but no, it ain't happening. It's just Whisper, and they do indeed call it. GG, well played. Let the split series continue. That's exactly what's going to happen here.
33 MVP, no questions in my eyes. Like he played really well in the laning phase, obviously getting a few of those kills that you probably won't expect against such a high threatening lane in the Chaos Knight and the Marcy. And then once it got to that point where, you know, he needed to be a little bit more farm-centric, but he still made those key rotations, right? They defended the tier 1 tower top quite effectively. They got a couple of pickoffs around that less greedy rotation. And again, once it got to that mid-game, once he got